Hi, I've got something to try and I thought maybe you might want to follow along. Um, I am not going to film much because I'm in my porch, my entryway, which is typical entryway shoes and coats for when we have cool weather and a freezer and all kinds of stuff. And I don't really need to show all that. but I feel like I'm just glowing. I washed my face, but it has been in the 90s today and very warm. And this is part of the reason why I've come on to talk to you, because I'm always game for trying something a little different. And this is not a new thing. It's been around for a long time, but I have never done it. I don't have air conditioning. And like a lot of people way up north, I mean, not everybody has air conditioning. I did have for a little while. And then when it died a few years ago, we just decided, you know what? We need it for about 1 week a year. And maybe sometimes a little more than that, but we just don't need it all the time. And so we're just trying alternatives to not having to have an air conditioner running. But that makes it very difficult for cooking. I have to really plan ahead when I watch the forecast. So I don't heat up the house overly much. Well, as it turns out, tomorrow after church, our friend group is having a picnic at one of the homes of one of the people at our church group. And it's on a lake, so it should be pretty awesome. I mean, I can always plunge in maybe if I get too overheated, right? But I am very warm right now, and I did not want to heat up the house to bring my part of the picnic contribution. And I had decided some days back that I was going to make an old-fashioned poke cake. And, you know, we used to make these all the time when our kids were younger, or when we'd have like 4th of July parties and things like that. I would sometimes make a poke cake. It's like a shortcut. Instead of making like a strawberry shortcake or something like that. It's not really a shortcut. It's just as much work either way. But it's just a fun, refreshing kind of, just an entertaining kind of dessert. And I'm not going to show you how to make it because there are a million recipes online for poke cake. In fact, I'd already bought my ingredients, which is basically just a box cake mix to start out with and some Jell-O. I bought my ingredients and decided on just a yellow cake, and that I was going to do it with some strawberry Jell-O, and that I would, after the whipped cream, I would put maybe some sliced strawberries and some blueberries on top. So that's going to be my poke cake. And I kind of wish I hadn't known, because author Lynette Bonner's newsletter came out a day or two ago. And in her newsletter, she had a recipe for a strawberry lemon poke cake that looked and sounded really delicious, with some strawberry lemon Jell-O in a lemon cake mix and with a little lemon curd on it. And sounded really good. But anyhow, they're easy to make. All you need is a box cake and some Jell-O and some whipped cream, real or, you know, the fake kind, whatever you like. And anyway, but here's the thing. I don't want to heat my house up too bad. So I'm out on my porch and I've got my kitchen door closed, and I've decided to try baking this cake in my roasting pan, as you will see here. There's my roasting pan. Now, maybe you've tried this before and you can tell me if it worked. And if it works, when I'm done, I'll show you. I'm not going to film the whole thing baking, but I will show you. And so what it says to do when I looked up ways to do it is to, kind of preheat my roaster. So it's been on for, it doesn't take very long, a few minutes. And boy, it's already getting warm in here. And of course, a lot of heat's going to escape when I open the lid. But I have my cake all ready here, ready to go in the pan. And the thing of it is to make sure that it says, if you're going to do this, you really want to make sure that you have the rack in there, because that rack is going to allow the air to flow around the cake pan and make it how it should be. So I'm going to put this in there lickety split and try not to burn myself. And the other thing it said, oh, this is going to be hard. I did it. I did it. It said to loosely lay some tin foil over the top in case of condensation, not to put it on tightly or anything like that. So here we go. I've got it loosely laid on top there, and I'm going to quickly put the cover back on, and I'm going to try not to look at it for like 30-35 minutes, and hopefully that's going to do the thing. Now, you might have noticed that my tin foil is used because it was all wrinkled up, right? I didn't grow up in the Depression, but my parents did. And I've just always been very frugal. And I do, if my tin foil's not had anything splattered all over it, it's easy to wash. And I just clip it up and let it dry. And it's one of the things I reuse. And, I know not everybody, some people think, oh my goodness, just throw it away and rip off a new piece. Have you priced tinfoil lately or anything? And it saves me some money. So I do that. So I am going to bake this cake. And when it's done, I'll take some pictures and add it to the end of the post. And we'll find out if it turned out in the roasting pan. And I really hope it did, because this could save me a lot of headache in the future. I'm always sometimes I'll cook crock pot. I'll set it out on my deck. I'll set the crock pot. I thought about putting this out on my deck, which might have been a better idea than in my porch. It would have had even less heat coming in the house. But anyway, there's just so many alternatives to warming up the house on a hot summer day. And I'm going to try this one and see how it works. Also, I feel like there was something else to tell you. I have got my Sabella stand uploaded. It's available for pre-order. That's coming out in a couple weeks. And other than that, I hope you're having a good day. I hope you're encouraged. I hope you're able to stay cool, because I know there's some dangerous heat indexes. And in some parts of the country, people go, what? We're used to 110. But, like I said, not everyone has air conditioning. And in lots of parts of the country, there's people that don't have it. And so we have a little pity on them. And we always try to think of others, right? And so I hope you're safe and cool and healthy and enjoying July. Okay, it turned out well, and it took about twice as long, but it turned out actually really well. I'll definitely do this again.